This video is brought to you by Dr. Kristen R. Bromley's Guitar Method Book Series and Online Music Academy.
Hi, I'm Dr. Kristen Bromley. Welcome to my online academy. It sure is great having you join me here in these online lessons. This is lesson 4 in this mini course on flat picking. In this lesson, we're going to be working on a new strumming pattern with 2 chords, E and B7. So in lesson 3, we worked on a strumming pattern where we grabbed the bass note, did a down up, grabbed the bass note again, and did a down up. So it went bass, down up, bass, down up, bass, down up, bass, down up. On the E chord, that looked like bass. On B7. So here with this new strumming pattern, we're going to go bass, down up, alternate bass on beat 3, down up. So, what's an alternate bass? Well, first of all, if we look at the E chord, the bass note is usually the root note of the chord, and it's usually the lowest root note. So, the root note is the note that a chord is named for. So, an E chord, the root note is an E, and that's why we use that low, open 6th string, because it's an E pitch. So, that's our bass note. So what's an alternate bass note? Well, most often they come from one of the other notes in a chord. A major chord has a root or step 1 of the scale that matches that chord, and then step 3 from that scale is a major third above that root, and that's the third of the chord. And then there's also a perfect 5th, which is step 5 of that major scale, up above that as well. And then those notes can be doubled or voiced differently. So for our E chord here in first position, it's got a root, then the 5, then the root, then the third, then the 5, then the root. That's how that's voiced. So an alternate bass note would be another note on one of those lower strings from the chord. Most often we use the 5th of the chord as an alternate bass note, but sometimes we use the 3rd as well. So with all the chords that we have in first position that we've sort of reviewed during those first 3 lessons, and that we're going to continue to work on through these next several lessons as we work on this new strumming pattern, we almost always have a bass note on an adjacent string. So, and it can be just higher than it. So with this E chord, the bass note or the root note is that low 6th string. The alternate bass then would be on the next string, which is the 5th string. Root, and in this case 5th. And that's my alternate bass note. So I'm just going, I'm taking out the down up strum, and as you learn, I'm taking up the up part, taking out the up part of the down up strum, just going bass down, alternate bass down, and you can do that if you need to. And then once you got that down, you can add that up strum in there. So we're alternating the 6th string to the 5th string, 6th string to the 5th string, and that sounds like a bass line or something that a bass would play, and that's what we're doing. We're just sticking that into our strumming pattern. So bass down, simple as that on E. Once you got that going, bass down, up. Pretty cool. I love this sound. So that's for the E chord. That's how we'll play the E chord. So let's take a look at the B7 now. So with the B7, we have the root on the 5th string. We're playing with our middle finger there at the 2nd fret on the 5th string. And we can also alternate the bass note with the string that's just above it, so the 4th string. We're not alternating with the 5th though in this case. We're alternating with the 3rd of the chord, so it sounds a little bit different, going between the root and the 3rd versus the root and the 5th. If you wanted to go between the root and the 5th in this spot like that, you could use the little bar chord. It's not very common to use in first position like that with this style, but you could do it. So, working just that B7, going between the 5th string and the 4th string, we're alternating between the root and the 3rd. Once you get comfortable, you can do the down up. that one works. Now we actually have another option with B7, which is sort of my favorite most of the time. So when we have chords where the root note is going to be on the 5th string or the 4th string, we can actually do an alteration where we're doing a higher root and a lower alternate bass. So we have this B note, we can alternate with a lower 5th of the chord. So when we do this, and in the case of this B7, which is the chord we're working on right now, it needs to sort of be parallel to or match on the lower string what we have happening on the string with the root. So we've got our middle finger at the 2nd fret on the 5th string. So to go to that 5th of the chord that's lower, we need to go to the 6th string and play that 2nd fret as well. So it sounds like this in the alternating bass. Root, 5th, root, 5th, root, 5th, root, 5th. If we stick the chord in there, bass, I have to move my finger. And so this takes a little bit of coordination, keeping the chord down while moving that finger back and forth. But it sounds like this, which is pretty cool. And I can just speed it up, and when you get comfortable, add in bass down up. So we'll put these two chords together in a chord progression. The song that we're going to work on with these two chords is Polly Wolly Doodle. I've got the chord progression written up here on the board. You can also download a free copy of the sheet music down in the description below. There's a link. You can download a PDF copy of that sheet music for Polly Wolly Doodle. Okay, so as we do this progression, we're going to insert the strumming pattern one time per chord. So we'll have 3 measures of E, then we've got 4 measures of B7, 1 measure of E, and then we come on to the next line, it's the exact same thing. 3 measures of E, 4 measures of B7, and 1 time on E. So let's go ahead and do it nice and slow. 1, 2, ready, and E. So go ahead and sing this so we can kind of hear it in context. Oh, I 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Oh, I went down south for to see myself singing Polly Wolly Doodle all the day. Oh, my Sally is a spunky gal singing Polly Wolly Doodle all the day. Very well, very well, very well, my fairy fair. For I'm going to Louisiana for to see my Susiana singing Polly Wolly Doodle all the day. I hear that sometimes, down, up, down, as sort of an ending, so I put that on there. Now, of course, with these, we can play them faster and faster. So play it a little bit faster here. 1, 2, ready, and oh, I went down south for to see my Sal singing Polly Wolly Doodle all the day. Oh, my Sally is a spunky gal singing Polly Wolly Doodle all the day. Very well, very well, very well, my fairy fair. I'm going to Louisiana for to see my Susiana singing Polly Wolly Doodle all the day. We could take it even faster if I could spit the words out. Oh, I 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Oh, I went down south to see my Sal singing Polly Wolly Doodle all the day. Oh, my Sally is a spunky gal singing Polly Wolly Doodle all the day. Very well, very well, very well, my fairy fair. I'm going to Louisiana for to see my Susiana singing Polly Wolly Doodle all day. So that's that. Now, on the sheet music, if you've downloaded it, you'll see that the melody is written out. In flat picking, in the true flat pickers, do a lot of melodic playing. So this is a great opportunity to start working on the right hand before we get to the lessons that are at the end of this mini course that are just about playing the melodic content. So this is a great way to get started playing these melodies, get the right hand working, get the left hand working, get the coordination of playing melodies together. In the flat picking style, we tend to play the notes when we've got strings of eighth notes, which is pretty common. We play the notes that are on the beat with a down pluck, and the notes that are on the off beat with an up pluck. So it's like down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. This song has a lot of these eighth notes back together. Then, if there happen to be places where quarter notes happen back to back, a lot of times we'll use alternations there too. Those notes which fall on beats 1 and 3, we'll use a down pluck for, and the notes which are on beats 2 and 4, we would use an up pluck. If there was strings of quarter notes, of course, we would go back to the down on beats 2 and 4 if there was an eighth note on the and of 2 or the and of 4, if that makes sense. So with Polly Wolly Doodle, now, if you don't know how to read tablature or notes, you don't know how to do this yet, I'm not going to go over it in this mini course, but there is a quick answer video that can get you started on tablature especially. Note reading is a little bit more involved, especially for reading in the key of E, learning all those sharps. So, but if you want to get started with just tablature, there's a quick answer video that can get you started there. There's also books in my method book series which come with videos that can help you master the skill of playing melodies with tablature and playing melodies that are written in standard music notation. But I'm just going to go ahead and assume that you know how and that you're going to start working on this. So in this first thing, it starts on beat 4, and so I would go down, up, and then I've got 1, 2, 3. Now, if I was just worrying about the eighth notes, I could do all down plucks on those, or I could go down pluck on beat 1, up pluck on beat 2, down pluck on beat 3, and then I go back to down, up for beat 4. So down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. That's how that would work. I'm going to go ahead and play through this so you can hear it and work on playing it right along with me or on your own, having heard it. So it sounds like this. 1, 2, 3. And of course, the faster that you can get these melodies, the better preparation for playing all the fast types of things that we do with a melodic playing with this flat picking style. Okay, I hope you're having fun here in this mini series. In lesson 5, we're going to work on this new strumming pattern with 2 different chords. So we're going to work with A and E7, and we'll also work with a new song, so there'll be a new melody that you can work on as well. Hope you're having fun. Take care. We'll see you again. If you found this video helpful, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. For more in-depth lessons and to progress through a free guitar course, check out my Guitar 101 series on YouTube and my guitar method books, which all come with access to hours of in-depth video lessons. You can find more information about me and my products at KristenBromley.com. Take care.